Hello, people. Hello. Just bear with me a sec as I work out whether or not I'm actually going live at the moment or whether this is working. So just bear with me for a second, people. It might be working, it might not be working. I don't really have a clue at this point. So just bear with me a sec whilst I figure it all out. I'm not quite sure whether or not it is genuinely doing it. Because if the answer to that is no, that'd be pretty annoying. But I just need to make sure 100%. So yeah, bear with me a second, people. It's just taking a little while to update, I think. So it says that it's going live, but I don't see it going live. I'm not quite sure why it says it's live. We are. I think we might be live, people. Yeah, I just need to change the team. Bear with a second, people. Yeah, it seems to have started streaming. I'm not quite sure how I've managed this, but it's basically the previous time I did a live stream. It's still got the same title. So just bear with me as I do that. Why is this coming up then? What is going on here? If I can just find a way of going into my YouTube studio, so bear with a second, people. If I just edit this, I think we might be able to do this. Not game week, I'm thinking of FPL here. So I should say match day. So of course the deadline stream for UCL Fantasy Match Day 1. So hopefully now, if I change this thumbnail to pretty much anything else, hopefully it should do the trick. I think we might be good. I think we might be good to go. So if I make a new playlist and put in UCL Fantasy. Sorry people, I'm very new to this streaming business, so just bear with me for a second whilst I sort this all out. So I think we might be good to go there. I think. So just, yeah, thank you for your patience, people. I think we're alright. I think we're all good. As far as I'm aware, in terms of going live at the moment, I think that's hopefully sorted things. So apologies if it originally said Fantasy Premier League. That is, of course, wrong. But yeah, we are live. So, as I said, thank you for your patience. The first kind of time I've really had a go at a live stream for a couple years now. So, hope you have enjoyed. No, I'm joking, of course. I'm starting the video. But the deadline, of course, for Match Day 1 is 5:45. So make sure you people you lock in those teams for Match Day 1. And of course, there are a few different things in terms of the rules that are different to the Fantasy Premier League game. Of course, you can make substitutions in the match day. You can change your captain in the match day, and you get points for ball recoveries. So that might be good for the likes of Rodri or the likes of those defensive midfielders like Casemiro, for instance. So, yeah, one to think about. Also, centre-backs could be a bit more appealing because of that ball recovery. But also, you get points for winning penalties, even if the penalty is missed. And you also get points for, minus points, I should say, if that player misses a penalty, as obviously you would hope so. But what I mean also is that there are minus points if your player gives away a penalty, which is not the case in FPL. So yeah, we're just going to tweet out the live stream, get some people in for the last 20 minutes. So let me just tweet that out, people, and then we will get going. So as I say, thanks for your patience. As I say, I don't usually do live streams, so it's quite new to me. So just thank you for your patience here. So we've just tweeted out the link, so hopefully everyone can join that, and we'll be good to go. But yeah, match day number 1, of course, it's always interesting UCL fantasy. As I say, it's slightly different to FPL and some of the other more typical fantasy games. So it's really interesting, yeah, for sure. And hopefully this will be a good match day for me. I mean, I'm pretty locked in. The lineups have been announced, of course, for the early games. We've got the young boys against Leipzig, and of course I've got a couple of Leipzig players in my team, Rom and Blazwich. And also we've seen the lineup for AC Milan against Newcastle United. I don't own any of the players from that game. Not that keen on them, to be honest, because that is, of course, the group of death with AC Milan, Dortmund and PSG. So a tough game for Newcastle this week, but also a tough group for them. So, yeah, it's really interesting, and we'll have to see how it gets on. But I'm just also putting on my story the link to watch for the deadline. So let me just quickly do that, people, and I'll get straight back to you and talk through my match day 1 selection. Okay. So we've literally got, it's 4:45 the deadline, so we've got just under 20 minutes till deadline. So yeah, as I say, any questions you've got in the live stream, I'll try and answer all your questions. If you've got any last minute dilemmas, any captaincy thoughts. I mean, obviously with the captaincy, as I mentioned, you can change it mid match day, but of course it's ideal for you to have people who are playing both on the Tuesday and the Wednesday, so that if your captain on the Tuesday doesn't work out, you can just, once that final game on the Tuesday has ended, you can switch your captaincy to the player playing on Wednesday, for instance. So in my case, I've got Erling Haaland, who I'm pretty confident is the best captaincy for this week on the Tuesday games, but then I've got Harry Kane on the Wednesday games if I need to, right? So it's good to have those options. It's good to have a strong squad, because you're going to possibly switch or stick. I mean, ultimately it is a big $1 million question, that do you stick or twist on some of the captaincies and how many points they get? Well, I would say generally the kind of threshold is around 8, 9, 10 points for you to keep the captaincy on that player. So if they've got, say, 2 attacking returns, that's maybe 2 goals or 1 goal, 1 assist, maybe, unless you've got someone like Erling Haaland playing against, I don't know, Doncaster Rovers. Obviously that's not the case this Champions League, I'm just making a funny joke that. But what I mean is, if there's a huge opportunity to bring someone in as your captain, even if you've got a return, then of course still do that. But most of the time, I think, yeah, a couple of returns, a 9-pointer, 10-pointer is pretty nice for the around 20 points on the captaincy. That will do. So I would just stick with that, really. Don't overcomplicate things. But yeah, that's what we're saying at the moment. And yeah, I'm just looking forward really to this UCL fantasy season, because if we just quickly look at my previous finishes before we go through my game week, or sorry, I keep going into game week. I'm going into FPL mode there, but my match day 1, I should say, lineup for this Champions League season. We'll just have a little refresher of people on my history so far as a UCL fantasy manager. I've not played for loads of seasons, I'll be honest, but just having a little look here, we can show you what the situation is. So this might be the history of the Champions League. Actually, yeah, it is. So ignore that. Sorry about that, people. No one wants to see that at the moment because we're looking at fantasy football. But what I meant to do was find the history of my seasons, and in the process I've managed to come off my team. So that's probably not the best idea. Achievements is what I'm looking for. So yeah, sorry about that. Let me go to achievements. As I say, if you've got any questions in the chat, feel free to put them in. The deadline is, of course, in about 15 minutes' time, so I'm just going to hop into the video and make sure no one's got any questions that they want to ask or anything. So let me just have a little look at the live chat, see if we've got anyone else here. Let me have a look. Bear with, people. Yeah, so we've got 2 people watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching, people. Let me just find find the stream on my phone so I can just more easily access the live stream. So bear with whilst I do that, people. Yeah, so we've got the live stream open now. So we've got the chat. Yeah, so we've got a comment from Dawit MR who said Mbappe captain. That is also a very good shout. Mbappe is captain. So yeah, fantasy football. This is my achievements. So looking at my end of season points tally. Oh no, hang on, this is not the right thing. What am I trying to find here? I'm trying to find view all achievements maybe. I'm trying to see where my past ranks are. It's quite hard to find. All-time stats maybe? Yeah, here we go. Seasons by game. So my best season in fantasy was actually last season. I ended on 557 total points. The season before that, I think I started playing the game and then just stopped, basically. So, yeah, I just kind of lost a bit of interest and only 44 points. As you can see, basically started and then barely even had more than 1 week playing the game. But yeah, last season was much better. Not a bad season, I think, in terms of that. I think into 2022 to 23 season, it does say semi-pro there. I'm not quite sure what my final rank was. I'm hoping that there's somewhere that will be there. But it does say here as well, 9082. I'm not sure whether that was my rank or not. But generally, I think I had an okay rank. I mean, I could even actually, whilst I'm here, just go back and look at my my rank that I would have posted at the end of that season. So we could always just do that if we want to, but it's not essential. So yeah, just going back onto my Matchday 1 team. We've also got a question here from Jude Jenkins. Thanks for your comment, mate. He said, best Barcelona defender to own. I would say, maybe I'm a bit biased because I have this player, but Joao Cancelo, as you can see in the picture, he's so attacking. He's probably likely to start. There's been some rumours of him maybe getting rested. I think stronger rumours of a rest for Jules Koundé for Barcelona, but I think Cancelo's going to start. So I would say Joao Cancelo. He's just so attacking. You know what you're going to get from him. So yeah, I think he's worth the premium price, Joao Cancelo. Right, let's have a little look at what my rank was last season. I might be able to find it on my Instagram because I haven't really regularly posted on my Twitter at Roberto Hollis 9 FPL Yellow Army about my. I mean, I did do a few last season about UCL fantasy, but as I say, I have been kind of more prioritising FPL generally. It is what I feel is the best fantasy game out there, but UCL fantasy is also quite nice when I'm up for it. And I just thought, this season I'd try and do some actual content on my channel, which I don't often do for UCL fantasy. So I think I might have done 1 or 2 in the past, but it's been very, very sparing. So yeah, I'll just have a little look back, see if I can find any posts I did about my UCL fantasy season. What that would have been the summer of last year, so quite a stretch back now we're looking at. So of course it would have been the Inter Milan-Man City game quite late in the season. I'm just trying to see whether I can find it, people. Yeah, so I've just seen my... oh yeah, this is the funny thing. Last season in UCL Fantasy, I just took the mick, basically, on the final game against Inter against Man City, and I just felt like just taking a massive hit because they do allow you to have more players from each team as the Champions League progresses, so more than 3 for each club. But because of the fact I hadn't looked at my team in weeks, I'd had loads of injuries going into the final, loads of players knocked out of the competition, and I didn't have any chips left, so I had to just take a big minus point. And I know this is stupid, I wouldn't advise this, but because I was just taking the mick at this point, I took a minus 36 just to get my team full of Inter Milan and Man City players. I know it's crazy. That would not be advisable this season, but it's just special circumstances there. So I think at the time before that game week, I was ranked 699 overall K, so it's not too bad, 699K. Total points was on 561, and in my own mini league of 54 people, I was 43rd, so not too shabby. I'm not quite sure actually what my final rank was, but it was around that 700k 800k mark, I would imagine, because I remember it was quite a frustrating UCL final, not many goals, and ultimately not many points for our teams. But look, at the end of the day, not too shabby when all's said and done. So yeah, thanks for those that's joined the chat. As I say, it's 10 minutes to go till deadline, so really if you've got any more last minute questions, make sure you send them my way. It's time to lock in those teams for match day one. So let's talk about my selection and lineup. But before we do, let me tell you about the mini league. Now, of course, you might be watching this just after the deadline's gone. No problem. You can join the mini league still after. But just a bit of details about my league. So this is the situation. We've got the mini league, and it's called, of course, FPL Yellow Armies mini league. We've currently got 95 members. So if anyone in the chat is watching, can we get to 100 members by the deadline? That would be brilliant. So if we can get 100 people in the mini league, I'd really appreciate it. But the code to join the mini league, I will tell you right now, is as follows. So if I just quickly go into here and show you, that's the code. So 33AVV4AB04. So I'll say it again, 33AVV4AB04. So make sure you use that code to join my mini league. And as I say, I'll probably be doing some sort of post when I remember to just kind of show how the mini league's going across the season. It is tricky with all the FPL content, of course, but when I try and remember, I will, get out Matchday, tweets about what the mini league's looking like once all the games in that Matchday have finished. So yeah, that's the mini league. Do hop into that and give it a go. But let's talk about my team lineup as we get closer to deadline. In goal, we're going to start with that. It's Blaswich from RB Leipzig. Now, he's got a good fixture this week against Young Boys FC. Ultimately, the team Young Boys in the Champions League have not exactly been lighting up the occasion and have not been scoring loads of goals. So that is a favourable fixture for the RB Leipzig man. Ultimately, he's quite decent for his price. 4.5 million he's nailed. Yes, he's got Man City in his group, and that's not ideal, but don't forget I have got another goalkeeper that I'm pretty sure will be playing. That is Ramiro for Real Sociedad, so it's fine. It's really not a massive issue. This is a great fixture to target, and if Ramiro does somehow concede against Young Boys, if Blaswich, I should say, does concede against Young Boys, then I've got Ramiro to come in, so that's great, because as I said earlier, it's good to have an idea of some good players that you have, but also that play on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. As you can see here, I've got a mix of players playing today and players playing tomorrow. So those players playing tomorrow, I can always sub in at any point if those players playing today do blank. So it's quite a nice option to have. Hopefully Blaswich can secure the clean sheet against Young Boys. I'm hoping the same thing for Raum. Now, of course, David Raum is a very attacking fullback for RB Leipzig. So we're hoping for those attacking returns. We're hoping to get the clean sheet, the double Leipzig defence. I never thought I would have double Leipzig defence to start the season, but with Young Boys, you've got to attack the fixture. So ultimately, hopefully he gets some top points there, and wasn't too bad in the last season's game. We've talked about him already, but João Cancelo's in there. For me, just makes a lot of sense. João Cancelo, because of how attacking he is, and yeah, all right, he's a bit pricey at 6 million, but he's just one that I would not want to go without. 45 points in Champions League last season. Of course, that was in a Man City team that did end up going and winning the treble. He did get phased out of that Man City side, and it was disappointing. But we know when he plays minutes how much attacking threat he does offer, and he's got a fantastic fixture against Royal Antwerp. Hopefully that's a clean sheet, you would imagine, but also some attacking return there. So yeah, it's looking like a decent group for Barcelona, and I'm hoping that Cancelo delivers the goods. Also playing on Wednesday, we've got Fran Garcia. I do think that there's a bit of a chance that he doesn't start, but I think I'm going to take the risk. A young player for Real Madrid, but he's starting and scoring attacking returns the last few matches. And yeah, he's got a great fixture this week against Union Berlin. Again, hopefully a clean sheet. It's not nailed on for him to start. As I say, he's in contention, but I've got a bit of confidence he will, and he's looking like a great option at 4.5 million. And still quite differential. So Fran Garcia makes up the defence. Then in midfield, we've got Saka against PSV. Now, not an easy fixture, to be fair, but Saka is just Arsenal's star boy. I'd struggle to go without him with Arsenal back in the Champions League this season. He just makes a lot of sense. By the way, it's 5 minutes to deadline, so any last-minute questions, get them in the chat now, and I'll answer them as I go through my team selection. But yeah, Saka just felt one that I didn't want to go without. And then we've also got this guy, Luka Ivanusek, who
has actually been an absolute bargain. He's only 4.5 million, and he starts, I'm pretty confident, for Feyenoord, and good fixture this week against Celtic, has scored in games leading up to this, and yeah, okay, maybe a bit of a risk, in contention only, not highly likely to start, but I'm pretty sure he'll be starting tonight, I would imagine. So we're going to go for it. A 4.5 gem that hopefully does get me the points against Celtic, who defensively haven't been great in previous Champions Leagues. Then we've got, of course, Eustaquio. Now, Eustaquio for Porto, looking like a decent player. Again, a bit of a minute's risk, but as a 6 million option, it makes a lot of sense. He's got Shakhtar this week, which is quite a nice fixture for Porto, and did score a couple of goals in last season's game. So I'm hoping he gets some returns. There's not too many 6 million mids that look appetising, but I think he's good value and hopefully will do me well. And then Jude Bellingham. I've got to have Jude Bellingham. With how amazing he's been for Real Madrid since he joined, he's just been scoring goals every week, and this week does not make any difference. He's got Union Berlin, great fixture. Hopefully Jude can keep up the goal scoring for my team. Then we've got Lewandowski for Barcelona against a very interesting Antwerp side. I think that will be goals for Barcelona there, and we know how good Lewandowski can be in the Champions League. He's done it for a lot of seasons, so hopefully in this Barcelona side he can get those goals. And then I've also got Harry Kane in that Bayern Munich side. Obviously he's scored a lot of goals since he's joined from Tottenham, and he's got Manchester United this week. That's not even a bad fixture. We know how bad United are defensively at the moment, so looking forward to that. And then, of course, on the captaincy at the moment, it's Erling Haaland. So, yeah, possible captaincies for the second day if Haaland doesn't do the business. Maybe it will be Bellingham, maybe Kane, possibly Saka. We'll have to wait and see. But we've also got on our bench ready to come in if these players do blank in midfield or in defence. I would be surprised if the forwards blanked. We've got Ramiro. We've also got people like Marcus Thuram from Inter Milan, who looks a great differential option. Very, very attacking for Inter Milan, and he's got a nice fixture as well against Real Sociedad, as I mentioned. The thing about that, obviously, is that he's facing Real Sociedad, but if I end up subbing in Ramiro for Blažević, then maybe it'll be tricky to play Ramiro, because I'll probably bring in Thuram with how good he is, and then I'll be up against Ramiro. So it's not that much of an issue, but hopefully a Leipzig clean sheet won't be a problem anyway for Blažević. Then we've also got Denzel Dumfries from Inter Milan, very attacking fullback. I just can't go without him. 2 minutes to deadline, so lock in those teams, please. Before you get locked out the website or the app, that would be a nightmare. So yeah, we've got Denzel Dumfries in there. For me, he is just so important for your UCL teams. I've just realised as well, I might need to full screen this because it just makes it easier. Yeah, sorry about that, people. Yeah, for your UCL teams, Denzel Dumfries just makes a lot of sense. Ultimately, he is so attacking, and he's still actually not as expensive as I thought. I thought he might be 6.5, 7, but no, he's 5.5, and he's so attacking. A nice group for Inter Milan there, so makes a lot of sense. But as I say, he can come in as one of the substitutes. And then we finally got Antonio Silva of Benfica, who has actually got a lot of attacking returns in recent matches. Okay, Inter Milan in game week, match day 2, I should say, is not an ideal fixture, but this game, if we do have any defenders that do blank, it's a nice fixture against RB Salzburg. Hopefully Benfica will carry on their defensive, solid, form at the back, and Antonio Silva could be a good option. So looking forward to that. Hopefully some subs there can come in if I need to. But yeah, pretty set on that team. As I say, last minute decisions. We've got 1 minute to deadline, so really has to be now if it's going to be at all for your questions. But I'm going to try and see if I can put a poll in the chat. No, I don't think I can. I think you have to have a certain number of subs to do that. I was interested if I could put a poll in the chat, who's everyone captaining for match day 1, but it seems I can't be doing that at the moment. So, oh well. As I say, it is pretty much deadline now. I think we're all locked in. So get those teams locked in. Last few seconds there. And good luck, everyone, for match day 1. Hope it's a good one. I've seen some people with the likes of Simons from RB Leipzig, some people with Sane. I've gone for Saka, so it's just those 50-50 calls. Icardi as well. As you can see there, we are locked in. The subs are available after the points calculation, but we're pretty confident with that team. Obviously, I know it's showing there Matchday 2's team, but that's just, it's updated from Matchday 1's already locked in. So if I just quickly go back here and show you the team for matchday number 2. That's what it's going to be looking like as it stands, of course, but it's locked it in for matchday 1. So that's how we're looking for matchday 1. Hopefully this will do well. Haaland on the captain, absolutely nothing in doubt there. So the points hopefully will be coming in for the likes of Rorm and Blaswich. The games are just kicking off now, so do enjoy them, especially that Newcastle Milan game. That should be an exciting one. But as I say, if you have enjoyed this one, I don't know if I'll be able to do these regularly just because of getting a bit busy in the next couple of weeks. But I just thought I'd give it a little try for the first time in a long time, really. I haven't really done much UCL fantasy content, so I'll try and do it where I can, possibly, but it won't be necessarily a thing that I'll be able to do all the time. So yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed. Again, if you do like this video, do smash a like on it, comment your thoughts on this live stream, and if you want to see one of these again, then yeah, feedback in the comments would be appreciated. But ultimately, yeah, that's what we've gone for this UCL match day. So hopefully it will get me the points, and yeah, just let me know what transfer dilemmas you had, and which ones you went for in match day 1. And if you've got any thoughts about captaincy for matchday 1's second day of fixtures, then put it in the comments, and I'll try and get back to you at some point to discuss those. But yeah, thanks for watching again. I've been FPL Yellow Army. Cheers for watching, and make sure you join the mini league. The code, of course, was said earlier on in the video. So scroll back from the live stream and have a little look at it and join the league. That would be much appreciated. But I'll see you in